Welcome to the Barely Average Podcast, episode number 4. I'm Roger Harrell, and today I'm joined by...
Colby Hopper.
I'm Cup Hopper.
Today we're actually doing something a bit different. We didn't have anything really newsworthy to talk about, so we figured we'd all bring different topics to the table, kind of throw ideas around, and see where it leads. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and kick us off with what I thought would have been a really good topic. Favorite video game soundtracks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Who do we start with?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is the incredible soundtracks that are always put forth by the Dark Souls series.
Ooh.
And Demon Souls and Bloodborne, because they're kind of the same thing.
Talking about the boss soundtracks, right?
Yes.
You got a favorite one from any of them?
Well, the one that sticks out is probably spoilers.
Spoilers.
The theme for Soul of Cinder, because not only is it a great boss theme, but it also wraps up the series as well, since it's the final game.
So you're talking about the first part of the fight, or the second part, or just the whole
thing?
Yeah. You know what they do? Don't they put Gwen's soundtrack in there?
Gwen's theme is
From
the
the first
second
game.
phase.
I didn't get into Dark Souls until the third one. It's the first one I played.
Oh man, the first Dark Souls, the last boss, Gwen, the
Spoilers.
Lord. What's his name? Lord Gwen? Is that?
Gwen, Lord of Cinder.
Gwen, Lord of Cinder. It's just got this. It's just this piano, just like ding, ding.
The whole boss.
It's so melancholy. It's great.
Yeah.
Sets the tone perfectly.
And they repeated that in the third game.
Don't you? So you fight that person in the third one?
In the third one, you fight this kind of incarnation of everyone who's linked like the first flame. And surprise, the second phase, he pulls out the form of Gwen, and you're like, oh man, it's Gwen.
Surprise.
So for me, it would have to be probably like Halo 2.
Oh
just
yeah.
Because I played Halo 2 a lot as a kid, and
yeah.
you know, even though it's a boring soundtrack,
It's
at
not.
some parts,
and oohs and whatnot.
yeah, I mean, it's got its ahs and oohs, but at the same time, you know, it's got.
It fits in, when it has to. Because
Yeah.
I mean, as much as Halo 2 can be drawn down to shoot, go to the next area, shoot, go to the next area, the game itself, the story is what makes shooting here different from shooting here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got those key little soundtracks like the Metropolis level with the tank. You know, that's the.
I think at one point
rolling.
they actually pull in. Don't they actually pull in like a song, like a rock band, like when you're playing as the chief on the Covenant ship?
Oh man, I don't know. With
And
lyrics and everything, I don't remember.
It does I think it's Godsmack. They do.
Wow.
You're because you're in that one area and it's like an ambush and you have to fight all the enemies, but it pulls in Godsmack at that one point in the game.
That's
for some
crazy.
reason. I can't remember. I think it's Godsmack.
What's your go-to soundtrack?
Go-to, first off, Jet Set Radio.
Yes.
There's so many memorable tracks. I mean, I don't know the title of the songs, but
yeah.
you recite most of the songs from that game.
I feel like that's one game where the game is the music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's always going.
Not only that, the name of the game is part of the game itself. Jet Set Radio. That's the radio. That's the radio that they listen to. So
Exactly.
it fits perfectly like the game, the soundtrack.
What's your favorite Jet Set Radio song? Come on.
I think it's called
Funky Dealer.
No, it's I'm not a model. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, which one is that?
That's jeez.
See, this is where it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, come on, you can do it.
I don't know what they're saying, but it's like get down off the wall.
No.
I gotta get down off the wall.
This is off the second one, isn't it?
Yeah, Future.
Future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, it would have to be Funky Dealer, for sure.
That's the
You got a favorite one? Come on.
I don't know the name of it, like I said, but
Karaoke.
I'm trying to get to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Would you stop playing with that yo-yo?
I'm trying to get some sleep.
Oh
Sleep.
yeah, that one.
So good.
Also, like not only do they play the songs, but depending on what area you're in, since it's a radio, they'll transition the songs.
Yeah, you have
differently.
static for a second.
Oh yeah, and they fade them out and then fade them back.
What up?
Sometimes the end of the song will play right into the beginning of another song. It's crazy.
So another one for me, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Yep, I actually have that one down too.
especially with Knuckles. The Knuckles levels, man.
Pumpkin Hill.
Yeah. Gotta find my lost piece.
Yeah, see, that's the Knuckles that I miss. I miss the rapping Knuckles.
He never rapped. It was just.
I miss the rapping themed Knuckles.
Yeah.
That whole butt rock, if you will, soundtrack for that game. It was amazing. I think half of it was where you're a kid and it didn't seem so cringy, but as you get older and you look back, live and learn. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. Shout out to Crush 40.
The lyrics of the song are so like generic for the situation.
No, they're so edgy though. God,
yeah,
but
but still, like it doesn't. There's nothing that could fit it. Like it fits it somehow so perfectly.
Yeah,
like
you and Shadow both Super Saiyan hedgehogs fighting a giant space lizard. Spoilers. And
for a fucking 10-year-old game, come on.
Still though,
about to crash into the Earth.
Yeah,
you gotta
and you
save the Earth.
You remember
your two hedgehogs that can breathe in space.
So great though. What topics you bring to the table, Colin?
I was gonna discuss the most recent game, Neo.
Yeah, how you liking that?
I honestly, like, as much as I'm a crazy Dark Souls man, I actually think
it always comes back to Dark Souls.
I think, but
yeah,
I think they actually handled combat in Neo better than Dark Souls did.
You like it better?
Yeah,
it's very fluid. It's very fast.
It's fast paced. There's no like defensive mechanisms really. You back out or you're hitting. Dark Souls, you kind of like shield and shuffle around sideways, do some rolls.
Parry if you can.
Have you tried parries in Neo?
I don't even know how do you do a parry.
You gotta get that. It's a skill off a skill tree, but like the timing for it is just ridiculous. Enemy has to be swinging, and in mid swing, right before it connects, you have to do it, and he'll parry. It's so hard. I've lost so much health and just trying every time.
I didn't even know you could parry in that game.
We talked about it. We talked about it a little bit last week, but so Neo, Team Ninja, right?
Yeah.
Same people that did Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Right. So do you feel any Ninja Gaiden now? I mean, we played the bejesus out of Ninja Gaiden.
Well, I mean, Ninja Gaiden is
ridiculous.
It's like if there's a linear like graph for like the pace of a game, its combat like goes like you can't even see it at that point. Neo is as far as like the mechanisms of the game are concerned, it's about as high as you could go on that graph without it being stupid, because they're trying to reflect, it's
samurai.
It's unrealistic, but they're trying
some of the moves are just silly.
They're trying to reflect as much as they can historically accurate samurai techniques, with the high stance, the medium stance, low stance.
Do you feel the elements from the Ninja Gaiden in it though? I feel like the slices and the effects and all that
effects, the sparkly.
Enemies' heads fall off a lot. In that game.
As they die, you can continue to push buttons, and before they hit the ground, if you keep slicing, you'll watch their limbs fly. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I missed that. The sparkly feel-good effects.
Yeah,
of death and destruction.
Of death and blood. And
I wish we could figure out how to get the co-op stuff to work. It's so.
That game has co-op.
Yeah, you have
to.
You have to be through the first level to unlock it. But once you get to the world map thing, you can do some stuff. We haven't messed with it too much. We should do that.
I haven't had time to play video games.
I haven't either. I've been busy. But, I'm going to kick over to my topic. Bring it up a little bit. So, this is kind of a vague topic, but everybody always talks about favorites and stuff, so I feel like I was going to change it up with, what's your most hated game? Maybe not most hated, but, like, something that physically hurts you to play, or you just feel like was against, overhyped. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
I'm talking
about you're putting it like you're putting a broad spectrum on this, but I was going to go ahead and shout out to Final Fantasy 13, and I know you liked it, you played it. Coming from other Final Fantasies, when I got to that game, I was at a GameStop midnight release.
Oof.
Waited, got home, story, everything drug me in, but that combat system never clicked with me. I did not like the paradigm shifts, whatever the fuck it's called.
You were used to 7, 8.
Yeah. 9, 10, every
10.
Fucking one of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you got, like two groups when it comes to Final Fantasy 13. It's like before Final Fantasy 13, I haven't played any Final Fantasy games. I've seen people play them, but I've never actually sat down and played one. So when I played it,
was that your first Final Fantasy?
That was my first Final Fantasy.
I can see it.
We had demos, but other than that,
yeah. So like to me, it felt all right. It was pretty. It was sparkly effects, again and everything. The characters didn't really like them too much.
That's that new generation kind of thing.
I guess,
they like the most generic names.
Like Snow. Hope. The only character I found myself liking was Saz. You remember Saz?
Yeah.
Dude with a little chocobo. And
he's
trying to find.
Best, yeah. Best part of that game. Chocobo and his afro.
He was a dynamic character. He had more than one emotion.
Yeah, and all he wanted. Yeah, exactly. And all he wanted to do was find his son.
I mean, you could argue that. What was her name? Vanille.
Yeah.
You could argue she had like a change in character, but for the most part,
she was so cringy though. God.
Yeah. So you guys apparently made it way further than I did.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't beat it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude.
I was severely disappointed about that game.
Yeah, I can feel you. Kobe, you got any games disappointments?
All right. Aside from Dark Souls, I'm also an avid fan of Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay.
And I can't wait for if Devil May Cry 5 comes out. Now, on that topic... If.
Is it not a... Well, they did the reboot. What's the reboot?
They recently released DMC4 again with Virgil this time. HD.
That's right, they did. But...
Anyway, getting back to the topic.
The white elephant in the room, aside from the reboot, which... I would say, other than the fact that since, it's not in the same, series, I can't actually hold it against the series for being different. So as a standalone game, it's fine. DMC2, on the other hand, is something that disappointed completely everybody.
Why is that?
All right, so...
Is it because it's brown?
Do you remember when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out? The demo of Metal Gear Solid 2 for the PlayStation 2. You played it.
You play Snake.
You play Snake.
On the boat.
You go through the whole thing. You go, oh my gosh, this game is just amazing. It's got Snake in a 3D. Everybody's face can be seen clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
You play it.
PS2 level clearly.
You play it and you think, oh man, this is great. The game comes out and you play as Raiden for the 98% of the game.
Yep. Do you play as Snake at all?
Mm-hmm. On the boat.
And it's like the tutorial part.
So how does that tie into Devil May Cry 2?
So Devil May Cry 2 is the same thing, but take the character that you wanted to play, but put him in a different game.
So you're saying the Dante from Devil May Cry 1 and the Dante from Devil May Cry 2 is just not happening?
They're the same character more or less, except he doesn't crack any jokes, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't crack. He's not the this is so easy guy. He's the just get me off of this.
Just another day.
He has 5 lines of dialogue. 6.
The whole game?
Are you serious?
Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
He says, and the only dialogues are it's like they were trying to go for a, what's that actor's name? The guy who played
McClane?
in Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
They were trying to go for a Bruce Willis, but he had to crack Y's. He wasn't cracking Y's.
Yeah, damn.
The enemies were all the same. They were all brown. All the towns and cities were brown. The combat was not dynamic. They were trying to go for action scenes, like in Matrix, where you run off walls and you can jump and shoot people. But the way they did that, there was no lock on, there wasn't
really?
a perfect lock on feature. So whenever you ran off of a building, you just mashed square and hope that you were hitting something.
Yeah.
Wow. So chronologically, Devil May Cry 2 is the last.
That's the last of the game. That's the last Devil May Cry in the history.
So it's threes, right? It goes 3, then 1, then 4, then 2.
It's 3-1.
It's all over the place. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's 3-1.
Played 2 of them.
It's 3-1, 4-2, and if you count the anime, manga stuff that come out, manga's it's between 3 and 1. Anime is after 1 before 4.
Wow.
Then 4, then 2.
So it's just up in the air, basically.
It's up in the air. But back to the main reason I hate it, it's just way too different.
Way too different.
1 has its thing, 3 has its thing, 4 is 3 but better, and 2 just doesn't fit in.
Not to digress, what did you think of the reboot?
The reboot, like I said, as a standalone game, it's fine. You can't really say it's a bad Devil May Cry game because it's not a Devil May Cry game, it's DMC. The story, it's like saying that Metal Gear Rising is a bad Metal Gear Solid game,
Okay, alright. Okay.
Yeah. But the story was, with what they had, was okay. Virgil wasn't the same as Dante. Or they were both the same, but their mother was an angel and their father was a demon. The story was different. The only thing I really didn't like was the cat character, the girl. She was
aside from gameplay, everything, it felt Devil May Cry-ish.
Yeah, the gameplay was different too.
I felt like it took a nod from Darksiders. Did you ever play that? Because you had so many. I played 4, I believe, but you had so many different weapons that were utilized just for moving around. You know, claw your way up this, grapple with this.
They were going for a Western sort of, I guess, way of playing games. Because Devil May Cry is about as high octane Japanese game as you can get. And
just
for that,
mumble rock in the background.
And just go
eating pizza and kicking ass.
Attack faster than you can even blink. But in Devil May Cry or DMC, It was completely Western. Even the characters' attitudes were Western. You know, Dante flipping people off.
Yep.
He was like a street punk. You know, his hands in his pockets. And
Got
stuff
a wife beater on.
Wife beater on.
He lived in a trailer.
Lived in a trailer. He was
Yeah.
naked all the time, except for he actually puts his clothes on.
In the middle of
In the middle of
it was like the first like little boss battle. He like slides into his coat in midair. Oh,
knocking
man.
his beer bottle.
Yeah,
So
it was good.
So for me, this is sort of kind of recent, but Ark Survival.
Oh yeah.
We.
I haven't had the pleasure of playing.
Yo, no.
Well,
no.
I feel like
The
if you play on
pleasure.
PC, we did talk about this a little bit in like the end of episode 2, but for us console users,
Yeah.
I feel like we
screw
got
us, right?
we got the short end of the stick. We got a barely finished product for full retail price. $55 we paid,
for
and
alpha.
yeah, and like frames were just awful. Like you're lucky to get 30 most of the time. When you're in the air, 15, no more than 15. It's just a laggy mess.
So
Sun glares, water glares,
aside
just pop in. It was so bad.
aside from like graphical things, just the game itself is just. I know it's not finished, but it's just not there. Like they're trying to copy Minecraft, obviously, like a lot of games do.
Yeah,
but this is just Minecraft with dinosaurs and prettier.
It
graphics.
can be fun. It can be fun, but like it definitely needs to be refined, especially on consoles. When I watch all these PC players, they look like they're having a blast, man.
Yeah.
They're high res, everything, never stutters, never anything. And then I play it, and it's just shit on a stick.
Did they present it as?
Yes, if you go
if
to
you
the
watch
PlayStation
any
Store,
trailer, you watch any trailer, and it just looks so hype. You got dudes riding dinosaurs, waging wars with other people, and then you hop in the game. First of all, there's no tutorial, which I'm not a fan of tutorials, but that is one instance of a game where you need a tutorial. I feel like, because they don't explain.
just wake up naked on a beach.
You wake up naked on a beach, you're crapping yourself. You don't.
Yeah,
They don't.
defecating every like 20 minutes.
They barely tell you how to craft things. First of all, you can level up. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Like when you level up, you can apply them in a different stats. They didn't explain that. They did. The crafting system is atrocious. You need to craft this to get this to get that to get this, and then you can. Once you introduce electricity, that's a whole spin-off thing.
I feel like they are going for a stranded and alone, like no help kind of thing, but it's a game. You need, it's in some form or fashion, you need some way of explaining, and you can explain it without words. Like Mega Man X didn't explain anything, but you figured out how to play the game in subtle ways.
They don't do this at all.
Yeah,
they throw you in there with like no tutorials, no little pop-up dialogue things showing you how to do things. Just say good luck,
But
have fun.
like, the thing with us is we actually had a friend that was trying to get us to play, and we actually got into the world with him, and like it was just so awkward. He was like, "Look, do you see this rock? Do you see this rock?" He sent me a picture of a rock, and he's like, "When you find that rock, tell me, and I'll come to that rock and pick you up." So like 30 minutes of just running around. Is this the right rock? I don't know. I got like a screen glared, like 15 frames a second. Can't even see half the things. Text just popping all over the place. Is this the right rock? I don't think so. I don't see you. Whatever. This was $55.
That was
train.
Even after that, once we came into someone who has introduced us to it. He was part of a little clan group and everything. We had all these assets available to us like that.
Oh yeah.
Like that
we had like everything.
Yeah, that starting out players wouldn't get. We had access to food, tools, clothes, weapons, armor, whatever. Even with all that, it's just still so rough to play. There's no end goal, and there usually isn't with like those kind of games.
Well, the end goal is to feel good about what you've made.
Right.
But I took time and I tried. I fucking seriously tried. I went and I harvested everything on my own. I didn't want help because I was like, this is what makes the game fun, is to build it yourself. Do it all yourself. Made a little hut outside of where everyone else is living.
Yeah.
Fucking anaconda just comes up, destroys me, my house, my storage box with all my crafting items, and that's pretty much the end of that.
That's another thing. You level up in the game, and like as soon as you step outside of the safety of like your base, there's no telling what level the enemies are.
Oh yeah.
Like you could take 2 steps outside and see a level 3 Velociraptor, and then like 10 feet behind them, a level 115 Velociraptor. So it makes no sense in that aspect. So you could just be mining along, doing your own thing.
Some things are docile, some things are aggressive.
So there's no like curve like in difficulty.
I think the areas that you get dropped in are labeled like easy, medium, and hard. But where we were like centered around our clan's base or whatever, like everything around us, they utilize the environment to help protect their stuff. They're like, well, they can't come from this way because just the natural waterways is just terrible. They're not going to run up through the water because there's anacondas. That's why my house got destroyed. But
you have to think geography.
Yeah, I mean, like the hut they had was up on a hill. It was great the way they did it, but I just couldn't get into it.
I couldn't put that much time into it. It's
It has to be polished first.
After you finish it, there's that sense of satisfaction. But if like the grind to get there is just painful and unsatisfying, like
you just look bad and see you look back and see nothing but blood.
Right? Yeah. Why torture yourself to make that? I don't know.
You're just a head in a jar at the.
What other topics we bring on the table?
I had what video games would you like to see revitalized? Just old games, something you played as a kid, something. It doesn't even have to be that old. Like if it's ended, what would you like to see brought back now?
There have been rumors of a rebirth of Conquer.
Oh,
remember?
Oh man!
But that happened with that. Not to cut you off. That Microsoft HoloLens thing, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
Conquer.
but I assume you mean like a proper
Yeah, definitely. That didn't look.
I mean, they already did a redone version of the original Bad Fur Day, but I mean like a continuation maybe.
Yeah.
Because I mean the game itself, with a game that's story is so spontaneous as Conquer, it would be the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, because they said they just wrote that game just like piece by piece. They didn't have like a story for it. They just kind of.
They were just
pieced
like,
it together.
let's put that in there.
Just kind of, if you go back and play it, the dialogue is just weird and crazy, just out there. None of it really lined up.
I mean, it makes sense because like 1 second you're like trying to pollinate a flower, and then the next thing you're in World War II Normandy. Like, how do you?
He drops into the undead zone already, like in garb and stuff. Like it's like he just entered a portal that just already gave him.
Yeah, it's like they were at the writers' table and they was like, "Well, I had an idea for like a boss made of shit. Okay, cool, we'll put that in there." And then
he has a song.
Yeah,
he sings for 20 minutes.
Do we have anybody that can do that? Yeah, just throw a piece of paper at him. But yeah, with a game, I mean, with a story as spontaneous as that, they could make a second game just as easy.
Yeah.
You know,
but see, that was rare, and they'd probably been like disbanded, gone.
Yeah,
so that was back in their prime.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
that's just what I would love to see.
I would love to see. Remember Brave Prince of Musashi?
Yes.
I don't even know how you say that word.
I would love to see. That is the best hack and slashy JRPG on PlayStation 1, in my opinion.
That was.
Oh, taking it back to PS1.
Yeah, PS1.
That was before Final Fantasy 8, right?
It was around the same time.
They still had the Lego block hands. So.
Yeah, it was PlayStation 1. So you have like maybe 8 polygons a character. You got balls for hands.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was.
That's all that matters, man.
And it was 2 discs, and they did have a sequel
2
for
discs?
it. Mm-hmm. It was
That's one of those.
They had a sequel for it on the PlayStation 2 where they turned into a proper hack and slashy thing.
Third person.
And nothing else has been done on it after that. And for me, that was just the most fun game. But you know what sucked? Is this problem with technology back in the day. We didn't have a memory card for the PlayStation 1. So every time we played the game, we literally played like the first 3-4 hours of it before we had to stop for whatever. And then that was it.
Yeah.
That's probably the game that we have. If you had to speed run that game, every time someone speed runs a game, they play the whole game every single time. We've probably done that with that game more than any other game we've ever played.
Yeah, absolutely.
We probably have the dialogue for the opening completely memorized.
What game would you like to see, brother?
I had a couple on the list, but I'm gonna just throw out Mag. Mag will always hold a place in my heart. I know. But it was just supposed to be this big epic battle, and I feel like the PS3's hardware restricted it somewhat because when you got into the big battles, 256 players, frames stuttered severely. But when it worked, man, when you had your officer in charge talking to your platoon leaders, who was talking to the individual squad leaders, and you were running that shit, man. I want everyone to go left flank, and you had fucking 128 people running left flank, and you drop your bombs now. You have all your platoon leaders, squad leaders strategically drop bombs. You're like, all right, I'm gonna just everything about that with better graphics and something that could actually handle that many people.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like ordering like a squad goes, as far as like actually like, I guess, reinforcing the tactics of real war, that's about as good as a game.
Like, it was amazing.
I feel
no game has done that better.
I don't know if that could work nowadays because with the introduction of party chats,
it would have to be PC.
No, PS3 did it. It was
PS3,
alright.
but PS3 didn't have party chat. So if they brought it back on like PS4, Xbox One, now I feel like
you would have to get out of the party chat. The dedicated players would do that. The dedicated players would do it. Yes.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, but like if they want to make it successful, they have to go above the dedicated players.
When Mag was in its prime, dude, we had whole platoons So if you didn't listen, okay, cool. That's like 3 people not listening. But for the most part, when I got officer in charge, it's random. It gives it out to whoever best serves the role. When I got officer in charge, I was stuttering, man. I had so much power. All right, everybody, I need everyone to listen. Go this way, So I'd really love to see that brought back in some kind of way.
Did you ever think to screw with your platoon guys at all?
We was there to win, man. The Shadow War was ours.
So you didn't even have the urge to say, all right, guys, go back and just watch 100 and
no.
people just run back.
It's like, all right, if anybody could just look at the ground and just throw a grenade. What else you bringing to the table, dog?
I apologize for going back to Dark Souls.
Okay.
But we're going to go back to Dark Souls.
Word.
Because there's a DLC coming out for Dark Souls.
Ooh,
If you haven't, if anyone watching this hasn't seen the trailer for it, don't watch the trailer for it. Because they spoil pretty much. It's everything that I don't know why, but every time Dark Souls has a trailer for something, since it's so short, relatively speaking, the DLC is just I don't know, another level or two.
Yeah, it was going to be 4
areas,
hours.
Yeah. In order to make a hype trailer for it, they have to have a little bit of everything. And if you have a little bit of everything, then it's spoiled pretty much.
Yeah.
So don't watch the trailer for it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you get a glimpse of a boss, and there's only 3 bosses, so you see them all.
Yeah, pretty much. It's called the Ringed City, I think. And it's supposed to be, it's the final DLC for the final Souls game, so it's supposed to be the end of the end being ended, pretty much.
Because this is supposed to be the last Dark Souls, right?
Supposedly.
It is. I mean, they've outwardly said it's the last one.
So we'll get another Bloodborne though.
God, I hope so.
Yeah,
that would be great. Oh,
I should have said that for the thing.
Too late.
Oh well. So changing gears a little bit, we all play multiplayer games and whatnot. How do we feel about how multiplayer is done these days? Let me be more specific. Ranked matchmaking, I feel, is a new sort of introduction to games.
Well, it's been around for the hardcore audience, but
yeah, but I feel like now it's just integrated so much in the game. You got games like CS:GO, Overwatch, even Rocket League has got ranked games. Yeah. And it always seems like these ranked games always have loot box things too. Is that?
It's cash grabs, man.
That's exactly what I feel like.
It's incentive to keep playing the game. Because any game can be played and done with, But if you play a game that has more incentive, I got a better gun, but now I'll have an even better gun if I play for another 2 days.
But some of them aren't
some of them
are just
even
aesthetics, right? Some of them are just skins and that's all Overwatch is.
But it's so crazy how far people go. Have you seen the videos of people that literally crap themselves because they got a golden knife and Counter Strike?
Yeah, they stream open it it's just a gambling problem. I feel
people will actually bot their stream. Just so that they could get donations, just so more people could watch them open boxes.
It's a dumb start. It's give me money so I can open these boxes so that I can
hopefully get something I want.
Get this virtual item. It doesn't even affect the gameplay. You get a little red skin or something on your knife or your gun or whatever. Doesn't affect how you play. Same thing in Overwatch and Rocket League. It doesn't affect your car or your gameplay or anything. You know what's pissing me off though about all this money being thrown at these developers is where is the
content that money should be.
Yeah. We got Doomfist and Overwatch who's been being teased for a month and a half now.
Longer than that. How long has he been in those maps?
Everywhere. His gauntlets on Numbani. You had Terry Crews at the Blizzard Studios. I don't know if that's still a thing. We don't know. But all this money.
I kind of want him to voice him, but I kind of don't because it's not going to be serious. But he seems like he should be a serious character.
I'm fine with
it. Terry Crews yelling all the time.
Yeah, Doomfist. Get the objective.
I feel like just the name Doomfist is kind of silly.
Terry Crews would work great then, right?
Oh man, I feel like he would do it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
But how do y'all feel about it? That's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, as far as the ranked thing goes, if you think about it, pretty much everything has a ranked. Baseball, you got junior baseball for just the general people. You got regular school baseball, and then you have pro baseball for the people that really want to get into it.
Yeah.
Make it a career. It's the same thing for games I don't know, ranked in Overwatch. You can keep playing regular, you can play versus AI, you can keep doing the fun arcade stuff. But if you want to, I don't know, fill your pockets with some incentive.
It's so much, this is the thing for me. There's so much toxicness.
Yeah, this is what I was about to bring up. What was it, a week ago? We weren't even playing competitive. We were playing just a regular match. I was having fun. You know, God forbid having fucking fun
Yeah,
playing a game.
You spend money on a game to have fun?
Whoa,
What?
Whoa, no. So, end of the match, I don't even realize what I'm doing, man. I'm just playing a character. I was playing Sombra. Hate me. Doesn't matter. I was running around. Apparently, I didn't help my team good enough. I got hate mail. 15-second voice clip from this guy.
50.
Hey, yeah, 15 seconds of like, I just want you to know that you are the sole reason why your team lost. You fucking piece of garbage. I just wanted to tell you that. Have a nice day.
That's regular. So
Yeah,
imagine
regular.
ranked.
And like, I just sent like, good game. That's all I said. And then he sends another 15-second clip. No, not a good game. This continued.
Yeah.
And they ended up sending it to, because we beat them the next round. Because we were teabagging and everything. It was getting nasty. That's where the toxicity comes in. You send a fucking message to me.
It was good retribution. We all got in on it. We was like, how
and
about
then he
that
started
Sombra
sending
now?
messages to everybody.
Jesse did. He got play of the game as Sombra. He killed that dude like so many times as Sombra that everybody was like, how about that Sombra now? Like, she ain't too cancer now, is she? For me though, it's like, damn, what was I gonna say? Even when you play ranked, it's worse because when I find myself playing ranked on Overwatch, half the time I'm just got my mic muted. I talk through the little.
They're just trying to tell you how to play. They're trying to tell you what to do.
So they bring up the medals a lot. Have you come across that?
Mm-mm.
So I play ranked quite a bit, and like there have been so many people who are like, "Yo, so and so, you trying to do this?" I mean, I got gold eliminations right now, so I ain't trying to switch. I'm like, yeah, but you could though. If we need it, you could switch. Yeah, but I ain't going to.
Yeah. It all comes down.
It all comes down to. I'm better. I got this big ego because I got a gold medal that's right there. Yeah. So you should be the one to switch, not me. Even though I could.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's just like two factors to it. Like one, just in general, you can't really speak for everyone. Some people for some reason just take it completely seriously.
Yeah.
And that's kind of with the team thing. If it's a team effort in any sense of the word, somebody's gonna freak out.
There wasn't even like a full team when that guy was bitching at me.
Yeah, I know.
He was like it was two of them in a party and.
Yeah, but the second factor is it's also kind of what you're saying with the whole loot box stuff. There's more incentive to keep playing the game.
Yeah,
and if you keep playing it, you get better stuff. But the only way to get better stuff is to like rank up, and the only way you can rank up is if you win, and the only way you can win is if you got good people.
Yeah.
So people who don't win,
they've got it down to such a science now where all these little elements just come together. It's like, oh, you want to play the game to have fun? Well, you know what'd look good if you had a cool skin. Yeah. You want to get a cool skin, play the game to level up to get it for free, but you only get one. You want it right now, pay money. But since you put money into it, you want to keep playing, and keep playing makes you think you're better, so you go play competitive, and then it comes full circle.
The best players are the people who play the game without freaking out, no matter what happens. Pretty much, that's just like the whole incentive.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to freak out.
I feel like I try not to be toxic
at other people.
Yeah, not at other people. Like I'll admit defeat. A lot of cuss words. Not gonna break anything, but. I gotta not play this right now. Kind of go do something else for a second. Come back. But
that's just human.
Not send a 15-second voice clip of like you're cancer. You are the cancer of this community. He called me cancer.
That's messed up.
I'm a disease.
There are people that have cancer.
I know, and it's probably that guy.
Dang. What was that about? That about wrap us up for this week? Not all the topics we.
I would say so. Yeah.
All right. You want to kick us out with the outro?
You already stole half of it, but that about wraps it up. That's going to conclude episode 4 of the Barely Average podcast. Stay tuned for more content. Barely average.
Oh, let us know in the comments what your favorite game soundtrack might be, or most hated game, or what you think about loot boxes. Catch you next time.